Welcome to this instructional video on judging policy debate. Thank you for agreeing to take the time out of your busy schedule to judge for our tournament. We truly appreciate it. Events such as these, they just would not be possible if you did not agree to come judge for us today. So we appreciate it. If you've not judged debate before, you might be wondering if you're even qualified to judge a debate round. Well, you are qualified to judge such a round. In fact, hopefully this short video will give you a little bit more confidence with your ability to judge a debate round, but you should know that it is up to the debaters to convince you on what's happening in that round. So, anyone and everyone is encouraged to judge and enjoy the experience. So let's first start off with a couple of main thoughts. First, it is the speaker or debater's job to communicate with you. They should guide you along in the process, and they might ask you what you prefer as a judging paradigm to start off. If you tell them that you're new to judging policy debate, then the debaters should explain to you as they present. Hopefully, they're making the experience enjoyable for you. Remember, you're not expected to be a debate expert. In fact, we want our students to be able to communicate effectively to those that know debate, as well as those that don't know anything about debate. This ability to adapt to the audience is an essential life skill. Now next, let's talk about what a debate actually looks like, or its format. First, there are two opposing teams made up of two debaters each, one affirmative and one negative. These teams will debate a central topic. In team policy, the topic is referred to as the resolution. The resolution is determined by an executive council each year and is debated by everyone across the nation. The affirmative must agree with a plan and then provide that plan to you that upholds the resolution. The negative team must offer reasons to reject the affirmative plan, thus consequently rejecting the resolution. During the tournament, the teams will alternate sides based on pairings or brackets. As a judge, you should never judge the same team twice on the same side of the topic. Now, you may judge the same team a second time as long as they are on the opposite side of the resolution. The main thing to remember here is the teams don't get to pick which side of the topic they want to be on, so it's important not to judge them based on the side that they are on if one of those sides happens to be in a disagreement with what you personally believe. Your role as the judge is to listen to the debate and decide which teams did the better job at supporting their position by using evidence and hopefully some logic along the way. At the end of the day, you need to decide to either uphold the resolution or not to uphold the resolution. Essentially, it's the job of the debaters to convince you to their way of looking at the topic. A couple of things to remember while the debate is ongoing is do not interrupt the debaters as they are speaking. And a judge may not interject themselves into the debate by questioning debaters or asking for evidence during debate. Now, you may ask for some evidence after the debate is over before rendering a decision, but please don't do so during the middle of the debate. Next, you will need to indicate who won on a written ballot. Please do not indicate with an oral critique, as this slows the tournament down. The ballot will ask you to rank each speaker. The 1 ranking means that they are the best speaker, 2 is next best, 3 is next, and then 4 would be technically the worst speaker in the round, although sometimes that's hard to judge because all 4 of them are great. The thing to remember here is that no 2 debaters may receive the same ranking. Now, ranking speakers is subjective, and it's left up to the judge's preference on communication styles. So, do the best that you can on what you think was the best for what you saw. Now, sometimes it's difficult to rank those debaters, but it's important, that they do not receive the same ranking. In addition, the team that wins the debate must receive a total speaker ranking of 5 or less. If you feel the round is close, you may use the speaker rankings to indicate the closest of the round. For example, the team may have won the debate with a 2 and a 3 ranking, but if you look at the team who lost the debate, they lost with a 1 and 4. Both of them had a total of 5, indicate that the debate was essentially a tie, but you had to decide for someone to win. If you need help with this process when it comes to speaker rankings, please ask the judge table when you return the ballot to them. When it comes to the ballot, the final thing to remember is that debaters want your feedback. That's why they're there. Debaters want to know what worked and, most importantly, what did not work. Remember, this is an educational activity, so the only way they learn is from your comments written on the ballot. Remember, these comments are your opinions, therefore they cannot be wrong. However, please evaluate the debates that took place in front of you rather than using your own personal opinion about the topic to make the decision. Remember, these debaters don't get to choose their side of the debate, so don't hold them personally accountable for a side that doesn't agree with your personal beliefs. In other words, please, please, please don't become the third debate team in the room. Instead, judge them based on what you saw rather than your personal opinion. Now, you can pick up the ballot and return the ballots located outside of our school bank, which is located in the central part of the building or in the middle of the building. These debaters will hand you a ballot when you show up there, and they will share with you in which room you are to be judging. Once you arrive to the room, the debaters who are debating in there, they will have a schedule and they will know where they're supposed to be. They will come in and they will ask to place their names on the ballot. They should know which side of the resolution they're on and in which order they will speak in. You are not expected to know that. Students should also have their own timing device to keep track of each other's speech times. A judge is not required to keep track of time. However, if you so choose to, you may. Debaters might ask you for your judging paradigm as they're signing that ballot. Judges with more judging experience might have specific type of arguments that they like to know or maybe they want to hear discussed in the debate. However, an inexperienced judge should indicate to the debaters that they are in fact inexperienced, which should provide the debaters enough information to know that they need to adapt to a style that would be best for you. It's important to know that each debater will give 2 speeches and conduct a cross-examination. This is the order of a debate. You can see how it alternates back and forth throughout the debate, starting with the 1AC, which stands for first affirmative constructive, then the 1NC, first negative, 2AC is second affirmative, and 2NC is the second negative constructive. Then you have the rebuttals. In between each one of those constructives will be a 3-minute cross-examination. So, each debater will give 2 speeches, a constructive and a rebuttal, and they will also conduct a cross-examination. Notice that the affirmative always goes first. During that speech and speeches thereafter, you will hear terms like observations, criterias, harms, mandates. These are all words that they use in debate to help organize the debate and show you which arguments are important to them. Now, after the first speech, you will see a cross-examination. During this time, students are encouraged to actually stand facing you rather than facing each other, because they have been taught to ask questions to and for the judge, so therefore they need to be standing and looking at you. Now, the speeches will alternate until the rebuttals. You'll notice that the affirmative goes first, they have the first constructive, but the negative has the first negative rebuttal. So, that's only for fairness. You will notice that the affirmative has the first speech and the last speech. Throughout each speech, you will hear debaters refer to the flow. The flow is short term for a flow chart, or essentially it means the process of taking notes regarding important arguments made through the round. A judge is expected to take some notes about the debate as it's happening. However, by no means are they expected to be as skilled as the debaters are. The flow sheet is for your use only to keep track of arguments, and you will not be asked to turn them in. The debaters will refer to these, and it may help you in assisting to make a clear decision at the end of the debate, to be able to keep track of arguments. The arguments that you might be hearing about in the debate are as follows: topicality, harms, inherency, solvency, and disadvantages. These are considered to be the most important issues to be examined and are often referred to as the stock issues. Topicality is an argument about whether or not the proposed affirmative plan sticks to the wording of the resolution. It's important to know that the affirmative is assumed to be topical until the negative makes it an argument saying the affirmative plan is not. Next is harms. It's an argument that there is a real and substantial issue in the world that should be fixed. The affirmative will tell you their plan can fix this problem in the status quo. whereas the negative will try to tell you that this plan, this harm, does not really exist or is not as important or substantial as the affirmative would have you believe. Inherency is an argument that there isn't a plan in place that can fix the problems. The negative might try to tell you that the government is already taking care of this problem, and the affirmative's job is to convince you that no, they are not, and their plan is in fact needed. Solvency, it is an argument that the affirmative's proposed plan fixes the harms. The affirmative has to win that the plan should be done, and the negative's job is to cast serious doubt that the plan would work and therefore shouldn't be done. And finally is disadvantage to advantage comparison, in which the negative tries to show you that there are serious disadvantages to passing the plan, and the affirmative should try to convince you that there are serious advantages in passing the plan. Typically, we like to know that if a plan will have more good or bad to it before making that decision. So their job is to convince you either one way, more advantage or more disadvantage. At the end of the debate, you should have a pretty good idea of who you believe. Debaters will refer to these as stock issues, and the affirmative must convince you of all of them in order to win the round. The negative can convince you of one of these major issues and be able to win the round. Once the debate is complete, please fill out the ballot in a timely fashion and return the ballot to the ballot table where you picked it up. The tournament has put in a little time in between each round, but in order to stay on time, we need judges to return ballots to the ballot table in a timely fashion. It might be best to write comments as the debate is occurring or during the debater's prep time so that you won't have to write all of your comments at the end of the debate. Once you have turned in your ballot, once you have turned in your ballot, you will be given your next round's ballot if you are scheduled to judge. If you are not, we will give you a huge thank you and release you from your judging requirement. Thank you again so much for taking the time to volunteer to judge at our tournament, taking the extra time to watch this short video so you have a little bit more knowledge about what it is that you're looking for and how this will actually operate when you get here. And if you have any questions whatsoever between the time you watch this and the time you judge, please don't hesitate. You can email me. My email address is there on the screen, or you can ask any of the students who have recruited you to judge, and they would be more than happy to help you clarify any information that you need to know or any questions that you might have. Thank you again so much, and hope that you enjoy your experience.